Purnanandarasanubhuti Sahita Smera Prasannananam Purnendu Prabhamatma Bodhanilayam Shantam Niriham Param Nitya Vichara Sara Chaturam Nirmatsaram Pavanam Shri Bhoomanandamaham Natosmi Kalitanandam Param Shreyase.
External situation, let it be anything. Our mind should be able to interact with it in such a manner that it has an ennobling effect, elevating effect, enriching effect, expansional effect in you. This is what we want. All our qualities are churned out with a view to edify the human personality. Edify. There is nothing that is retrogressive in this, depressive in this. All depression should be simply burnt off. What is it in this world? Death, disease or poverty. Srimad Bhagavata says, for everyone living in this world will continuously produce threefold misery. Threefold misery. Adhyatmic misery caused by your body, mind and intelligence. Adhideivik misery caused by the elements. Adhibhautik misery caused by the other creatures, including human beings. This threefold misery cannot be avoided in human life. They can be mitigated and they can be made extinct, as you find in the case of Parikshit. Takshaka did come and bite, but Mr. Parikshit was not involved in the process. What more do you want? What more do you want? Arjuna crumbled in the battlefield. Krishna restored him in 3 hours. Rama was reluctant to live in this world. Vasishtadeva talked to him for 18 days and he overcame his delusion and ruled the kingdom in such a splendid manner that he could abandon the throne, abandon his own pregnant wife also to uphold the dynasty. What great heroic act was it? When your mind and intelligence grow in their capacity, in their quality, in their enrichment, in their self-edification, you will find there is nothing you cannot do in this world. Sri Krishna did everything that he wanted to, that he was supposed to do in 125 years of his life. And when he decided to go, Brahma asked him to go back. He said, I shall come back. But my family has become proud. If I leave my dynasty, the entire society will be destroyed by it, like the oceans overflowing the boundaries. So I will bring about a quarrel between them, a fight between them, and destroy them like the bamboo fire in the forest. Are you following me? Clusters of bamboos. In the wind they start swinging, rubbing against each other, and suddenly fire, blazes, and the whole thing is destroyed. Like that I am going to destroy my whole dynasty. Then I will also get destroyed. I will leave my body and come. You tell me the same Krishna Paramatma who did everything and so many people were rallying around him. The beautiful Dwaraka he made in the ocean. He said on the 7th day it will sink, water will take it. I don't want anything of mine to be left in this world. Except the words that I have uttered, except the message that I have given, nothing should survive in this world after me. My dynasty as a whole, myself also. When Krishna's departure was reported by Daruga, Rukmini suddenly prepared a fire and entered it. बोलिए ना, हमारी मन की शक्ति कितनी है बोलिए. आप शिव 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 बोलती हैं, ये क्या है? Are you not shameful? Your mind is something very great. There is nothing that the mind cannot devour and dissolve. Let it be the huge world. I will close my eyes and sit. World कहाँ गई बोलिए? जब आप आंखों को बंद करते हैं, दुनिया रहती है या नहीं? हाँ? है. When I go into sleep, कुछ है क्या? रिश्तेदार है? अपनी प्रिय पत्नी है या प्रिय पति है? बच्चे हैं? सोना तो है क्या? श्रुतीनां सूत्राणां स्मृति निखिल वेदानुवचसां परं हार्दं युक्तं ह्यखिलचिदचिद्भिन्नमपि च अभिन्नं स्वाभाव्याद् गुणिच परमं ब्रह्मकमिदं समादिष्टं यैस्तान् अपि सततमीडे गुरुवरान् भाग्योदयेन बहुजन्म समार्जितेन सत्संगमेव लभते पुरुषो यदा वै अज्ञानहेतुकृतमोहमहान्धकार नाशं विधाय हि ततोदयते विवेकः. See, I am reciting different verses in the way of benediction to begin with. Generally for this morning session or something like Upanishadic session, I say, Shrutinam Sutranam Smriti Nikhila Vedanuvachasam. Shrutinam Sutranam Smriti Nikhila Vedanuvachasam. The very line gives you what is our connection, what is your cultural connection, cultural genesis. Shrutinam. Everything commences from Shruti, means the Vedas. Sutranam. Connecting all the statements, revelations in the scriptures, Vedas, sutras have been made. In the sutras you will find consistency. There is a regularity, there is a sequence. But in the Upanishads, so many people composed Upanishads at different times. Everybody began from a certain premise or a background. So the scattered thoughts are there. But in the sutra you will find that scatteredness is not there. It is in a very great sequence. We have two sets of sutras. One is called the Mimamsa Sutras. The Vedas themselves have two sections. One section dealing with rituals and ceremonies, making and chanting a number of prayers addressed to some superhuman powers above in the sky. So this one section where you will find Yajna, Yaga, Agnihotra, Somayaga, Chadurmasya, Chandrayana, Krishna, so many rituals and ceremonies are there. So Jaimini Maharshi had made a few Mimamsa Sutras. And he goes on explaining that the Vedas are karma oriented. Do you understand my expression? Veda literally means a treasure of knowledge. Vid is the root from which Veda is derived. Vid means to know. Now whatever is the outcome of the knowing process, that is presented in the Vedas. So it is a book containing knowledge. Now Jaimini Maharshi came up and said, knowledge is not the point there. Whenever the Vedas ask you to do something or not to do something, that alone should be considered as a Vedic sentence. So he gave a new formula. Amnayasya kriyarthatvad. The purpose of the Vedas is to make you do or do not. Only when there is a prohibition or an injunction, you can consider a Vedic sentence to be true and wholesome. The first premise on which he starts is this. Now, Badarayana Vyasadeva wrote, like Mimamsa Sutras, he wrote Brahma Sutras, again bringing to light what the Vedas are repeatedly revealing. And he wrote it in this manner. The entire Vedas are meant to enlighten you about things which you do not know with your senses. That fire is hot, it need not be told by the Vedas. Ice is cold, we know it. Am I clear? Should I say this? Huh? Should I explain? Or you are not interested? I am trying to enlighten you in a thorough manner. This is the 50th year I am coming here. So understand, Vedas are the basic texts of revelation for us. That basic text itself is divided and two different points of view are presented. Now Badarayana or Vyasadeva took his stand on the ground that Vedas are supposed to provide us knowledge. What knowledge? Not knowledge of the world, of matter, of energy. These are things which we are capable of knowing. All the colors and shapes our eyes will be able to distinguish. All forms of sound we shall distinguish with the ear, like smell, touch and taste. Svavishaya shurani hi pramanani shrotradivad. In the matter of each area of knowledge and perception, every sensory organ is supreme. Are you with me when I say this? थोड़ा सुनिए ना. हमारी संस्कृति चीप नहीं है, वो बहुत बहुत बौद्धिक है, युक्ति अन्वित है. वो स्वविषय शूराणी ही प्रमाणानि श्रोत्रादिवद. Every pramana stands independently in a sovereign manner, in a supreme manner. Shrotradivad, like ear, eyes, etc. Eyes are the only organ which can determine the colors and shapes of things in this world. In the sphere of the eye, sights and colors and shapes, eye is supreme. No other organ or proof can come and interfere there. Am I clear? Now this is an ochre color. Eyes determine this color. In the matter of determining the color and the shape and other things, eyes alone are supreme. There no other organ can come and tell us anything. Even the Vedas cannot say. When we say fire is hot, we know it is hot. Suppose Vedas come up and say fire is cold, will you accept? So our senses are supreme in their respective ranges, and that sensory information or knowledge cannot be contradicted or superseded by anything. What do the Vedas tell us then? Not about the world, about the sensory perceptions. They can tell us things about which we cannot see with the senses. So in the transcendental or sense transcending sphere alone, Vedas need give us any information. And that information is what you find in the Vedas and the Upanishads. The Vedas themselves have 4 sections. One is called Samhita, the praises, prayers. Initially they started praising and praying, praising and praying. That is what every one of you, even intelligent people, are doing. Started praising. Mother and father told us to go to the temple. Pray, pray, pray. What for will you pray? Pray, let me pass in the examination with flying colors. Let me be first in the competitive test. Let me clear, let me pass. This is the prayer that you are making. This is determined by your examiners. This is determined by your answer paper. How can gods interfere there? Suppose you have not written well. Mr. God will come and interfere and make the examiner give you instead of 550. ये होगा क्या? तब किसके लिए प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए? सोचते नहीं. प्रार्थना, प्रार्थना, प्रार्थना. In my young days, I was a temple person, a temple boy. We used to spend quite a lot of time in the temple. Temple worship has shaped our life. So one day I went and asked my mother, Mother, what shall I pray for? I don't know. I could not find an object of prayer. Why should I pray and what for? My mother coolly and comfortably told me, my dear son, you tell God, it was a goddess, you tell goddess, whatever punya and papa happen to be done by me, please take hold of them and give me liberation. This is the prayer my mother wanted me to submit before the goddess. I did not know what was punya. To some extent I knew what was papa perhaps. I did not know what was moksha. But my mother asked me to do this. So many people are praying not knowing what should be prayed for. So this is the first portion of the Vedas. Then they wanted to strengthen their prayer by some kind of a performance. Every day they were praising, oh God, you are supreme, you are great, you are great. And every day you are praising. But what are you giving him? You don't give anything. But how to give? These are all superhuman powers, invisible powers. They don't have a body, they will not come before us. So how can I give? I am not able to give. So what happened? They ignited fire in a ceremonial manner, in a Havan Kunda. And we have different types of Homagunda. The simple normal one is a square one. We have rectangle, semicircle, circle, hexagonal, octagonal, pentagonal, then nine-sided. We can have this type. And every particular size is supposed to be useful in a particular area. So our Hindu mind is a very fertile mind. It has got great imaginative power. Whatever sphere of activity it takes up, it will go on putting all the imagination and sankalpa into it and make it colorful and glorious. I have told you earlier also, all the wealthy people of Jamshedpur, if they are ready to perform a sacrifice, I will arrange for the sacrifice here in Jamshedpur. You will find all their wealth will be disposed of in that. What do I mean by that? Most costly combustible materials will be bought and everything will be offered into the Havan. And you will find their money is insufficient. All that I will do will be only a Havan. Are you following me what I say? Most costly things. Generally you put on costly things. If you love God and adore God and you consider that He is responsible for your life, costly things you will take or you will give Him. बोलिए ना थोड़ा, भगवान को देंगे या स्वयं उपभोग करेंगे? तो जितनी जितनी दामी चीज है सबको लाइए, सबको लाइए. It should be acceptable to the fire and the fire should reduce it to ashes. So we can pour a lot of ghee, a lot of that saffron also I will ask you to bring. There are so many medicinal plants which are very, very costly. I will say, bring this, bring that, bring this, bring that, and you will find your money bag is getting empty. There were Maharajas and emperors in our country. After performing a yaga, their treasury became completely empty. Do you understand? Please, be with me when I say this. Whenever Raja had excess of wealth, he was asked to perform a sacrifice. And this sacrifice meant spending the whole of money he had. When Yudhishthira after the war had to perform Ashwamedha Yaga, poor man, he did not have money. How to perform this Ashwamedha Yaga? Then he was told, you go to the Himalayas, in a particular region, a lot of jewels have been left by an emperor and he has gone. Collect all of them, sell them, make the money and perform Ashwamedha Yaga, he was told. What do you think of this? Whenever Raja had excess of wealth, he was asked to perform a sacrifice. And this sacrifice meant spending the whole of money he had. When Yudhishthira after the war had to perform Ashwamedha Yaga, poor man, he did not have money. how to perform this Ashwamedha Yaga. Then he was told, you go to the Himalayas, in a particular region, a lot of jewels have been left by an emperor and he has gone. Collect all of them, sell them, make the money and perform Ashwamedha Yaga, he was told. What do you think of this? We are a people who are noted for sacrifice. Sacrifice. Our philosophy is not one of enjoyment. Eat through the nose also. And become like a pumpkin. No, 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 no. Our way is austerity. Our way is penance. Our way is tapasya. And tapasya of a physical sensory nature, of an oral nature, of a mento-intellectual nature. It goes on ascending from the sensory level until at last it reaches the ego level and you completely wipe off your ego. The tapasya continues in an ascending order. So they evolved the rituals, the second portion. The first is called Samhita, the second is called Brahmana. They were not satisfied at all. Satisfied at all. The people who were given to performances, ultimately their hands and the feet started trembling, shivering. They could not take hold of the ladle. They could not take the materials, sit near the fire. It was very hot, smoky also. So the performance of sacrifices itself became difficult and unbearable. Are you with me, my dear souls? Please understand this India. This took place in the prehistoric times. But it is very much a fact even today. Even today. This is what you will encounter in your life. We all believe in action, action, action. How long? Suppose you happen to live for 80, 90 years. होगा क्या? कर सकेंगे? मंदिर जा सकेंगे? प्रेयर निकलेगी क्या मुंह से? थोड़ा सोचिए ना. So they found these rituals and ceremonies are not going to hold full answer to our needs and questions. So they left everything. As they took to it, they left everything. Suniye achhi tarah. कर्म मोक्षाय कर्माणि. क्या लिख लीजिए ना, कर्म मोक्षाय कर्माणि. Every kind of an activity is taken up only to be ultimately left. बोलिए, सोचिए. Srimad Bhagavata says, karma mokshaya karmani. All the activities and interactions are taken up with a lot of jumbo fervor, only ultimately to be left. So they left the rituals, they left their prayers. All that they could do was close their eyes and think. The mind was not causing any tension, it was inside. The mental activity does not require space, does not require effort. You leave the mind will start thinking. I am talking to you, I have not come with a plan. I just talk and the talk comes to my mind. It is not an effort. It is an expression. For me, it is a delightful expression. If the mic is all right, the listeners are all right, they are all attuned, I find a lot of exhilaration in what I talk. I am the first listener, mind you. All of you are second listeners. I listen to my speech first and also perhaps last. So the mental effort is not of an exertion. It is an expression. It's a beautiful flow. That is the time they started thinking. All the external activities were surrendered and left. And the mind became contemplative, inquiring, investigating. What am I doing? What is this ritual? To whom is it addressed? I am offering materials to the fire. Does fire take it to the place where I want? My dear gods and goddesses, have you got my offers? I believe that I have done. So it is a unilateral action. I do the work. I make the offer. I set up the fire. I make it blaze forth. It is all I. Where is the you? सुन रहे हैं क्या? बोलिए ना, थोड़ा सोचिए ना. We are the most rational people in this world. We question everything under the sun and above the sun. We question God first and last. God is not escaped. He doesn't escape. Our questioning will go to God also. Are you there? Why am I not seeing? Are you outside or inside? How to see you? Do you have to create another superhuman being in order to realize you? Or is the human sufficient? Then why is it that I don't get you? Where shall I search you? Outside or inside? Now these are very important questions. They found the answers. So in the Upanishads you find the pinnacle, the zenith and the fulfillment of the Vedic efforts and the Vedic search. So the first portion, Samhita and Brahmana, they constitute the ritualistic, the karma portion, and the Aranyaka and the Upanishads, the third and the fourth, they constitute the knowledge portion. And this is the end called Vedanta, Vedanta, Vedanta. I was explaining it to some extent in our workshop. Now this Upanishad is the finale of the entire Vedic presentation. And it tells you only, Iha cheda vedit atha satyamasti na chediha vedin mahati vinashtihi. If you succeed in knowing this truth, your life becomes meaningful and fulfilling. Otherwise, great is the loss that you are going to incur. So the exhortation of the Vedas, particularly in the final portions, its exhortation is very, very clear. It is to know. 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 Vedas means knowledge, the treasure of knowledge. And the reading of the Vedas is to enlighten you, illumine you, inform you, make you understand what the world is, what you are, what God is, where lies your destination, and how to achieve it, what is the methodology or technology for the process. All these are explained. We are a human being. We have an intelligence which determines all our activities and all our performances. Life as an individual, life as a family, life as a societal segment, life as a nation, life as a global community. Everywhere, intelligence, that is the guiding factor for us. When a human is rightly informed, he will simply know what I want to do. Our country can develop quite a lot, but we don't know how to develop and how to go about it. Even if we know, we don't respect and regard the knowledge. Everywhere there is corruption. Everywhere there is corruption. There is lethargy. There is indifference. There is ignorance. There is delusion. That is our problem.